10.2. Okay, we've talked about rectangles, triangles, parallelograms, and now we're on to trapezoids, rhombuses, and kites, still dealing with area. So when we're talking about a trapezoid is 1/2 times the height times the base 1 plus base 2. So notice how this is parentheses. You have to first add your base 1, base 2. The base 1 and base 2 are going to always be the two lines that are parallel. So when I'm looking at this first question, I don't have the height here. This height would be the same height as this. However, this 45 degrees is very important to me. If I know that this right here is 8, that means I know this right here is 8. That means I can do 8 or 14, subtract 8, and get this length as 6. And now I actually have a special right triangle. Yes, we are using SOHCAHTOA in this chapter. So I know that now my height will be 6 because in a special right triangle, my legs are congruent. So it's going to be the area is equal to 1/2 times my height. My height here is 6 times my base plus my base. Now, when you plug this into your calculator, I'm going to do 0.5. I'm going to put this in parentheses. And if you put this into your calculator correctly, you should get the correct answer out. So here I have 66. Now, again, when we're dealing with area, you want to make sure to have your units. My units are always squared. So now the area of this trapezoid, I'm going to help you find the height, and then I want you to figure out the rest. So this right here would be my height. This is like my long. So I don't have, because this is a 30, 60, 90. So my long is going to be my height. I have my hypotenuse. I can figure out my short, which would be equal to 2, because it's my hypotenuse divided by 2. If you don't believe me, look at your cheat sheet. Hypotenuse divided by 2 would be 2. So my long would be 2 square root 3. So I want you to try to do this B, finish off this problem by yourself. So I have 1/2 times my height times my base plus my base. Now, since this little guy is 2, this short here is 2, I can do 7 plus 2. That's where we get this whole base. This whole base is 9 because we do 7 plus 2. Now, if I asked you to leave this in simplest radical form, we could do 1/2. So this would be the same thing right here would be equal to 16. So it's doing 1/2 times 2 times 16. That's where this 16 comes from. And then the square root through can't be multiplied. If I didn't ask for it, then I can multiply this whole shebang and I would get 27.71. So now we're into rhombuses and kites. The area for rhombuses and kites are when I'm looking at my whole diagonal. So in this case, when I have my diagonal and my diagonal. Now the reason why this formula works, can you try to guess why does this formula work? Well, in both of these, I have 4 triangles within that rhombus and kite. So it's kind of like our triangle formula, except now it's 1/2 times base times height. It's diagonal times diagonal because it's basically finding the area of 4 triangles, but only within one step. So 1/2 times diagonal times diagonal. So you have to be able to look at a picture and kind of know what's going on. If the picture looks like this is talking about the whole diagonal. You can always ask me if you're not sure, is this talking about just a little guy or is it the whole thing? This is talking about the whole diagonal, and this is talking about each little individual diagonal. So again, if I'm looking at this, I would do 1/2 times my diagonal. This whole diagonal here would be 5 plus 3, so that'd be 8, times this whole diagonal here, which would be 3 plus 3, which is 6, which would give me 24 centimeters squared. So right now I want you to try to do B by yourself. And you should have gotten 275. So again, even though this one, I want you to try to do these next 2 problems by yourself. Even though this one looks like it's on the outside, this is still my diagonal here, and this is still my diagonal here. So it still gives you diagonal. So I want you to try to do both of these by yourself right now. And you should have got 1/2 times my diagonal times my diagonal. So 40 inches squared. And here 1/2 times my diagonal times my diagonal, which would be 65.1 meters squared. And there you go. Have a wonderful day.